Hi, my name is Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Welcome back to my channel. It is the end of another month. Can you believe it? I say this every time. I'm so excited to jump into everything I watched this month, including a lot of TV shows. I've been on a TV kick for the last couple of months, I think. But I watched so many films and I have so many recommendations. I do want to say first, thank you to everyone who watched my recent video on me playing Take This Lollipop. It's a crazy interactive Zoom type game. It is something else. If you liked Host, definitely check out the video. It was a lot of fun, and I know not a lot of you were into that kind of content from me, but the people who did see it left really good comments, so thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's jump into talking about some movies though. But before we get started, yes, I always get asked, how do I watch all of these movies, especially being in Australia, and it's because of today's video sponsor, a must-have service and application for me. It's Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. Not only do they encrypt all of your data and protect your identity online, but they also unlock geo-blocked content. With Surfshark, you can go onto Netflix in any country and unlock that country's content. This is how I watch a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies that aren't available in Australia yet. I love Surfshark. I actually pay for it out of my own pocket and have been doing so for over a year. It's the most user-friendly VPN I've used, and they also give you unlimited devices. So not only can I use it on my computer, but I can use it on my other computer and on my TV and on my phone. Surfshark have a 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with your product within 30 days, you can cancel it, no questions asked. To unlock content from around the world right now, use the URL down in the description and use my code SPOOKY for 83% off and 3 months extra for free. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Now let's dive into Letterboxd, and I always get asked, what app am I using? It's called Letterboxd. I always have the link down below. At the start of the month, the first film I watched was Saint Maud. I have 2 reviews on this, a review and a breakdown, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but obviously this was a film that we were all waiting for so long, so I'm just blessed. I'm so happy I've been able to see it. Next is Sator, and this was another one I reviewed. Usually you can tell what I'm going to review because I don't put my ratings in. I wasn't overly impressed with this, and it was one we were all looking forward to, or at least I was, especially with the poster. I thought the poster was really cool, but I did a review on this, so if you want to check out why and my thoughts behind it, definitely do. I did see some people really liked it, so, and you can see here, it's got some good scores, so it depends, but go check out that video and make up your own mind. Then I rewatched Saint Maud. It was definitely a 2-watch for me. I had to. I then watched Minari. I hope that's how I say it. This was an amazing film, and I was lucky enough to see it in the cinema. I know. So this, so beautiful. It's a film about a Korean family in America, and they have this property, or get this property that is a farm, and they're trying to transform it, and it's really like a slice of life about their family. It's quite sad, actually. Yeah, I cried. I'm not gonna lie. Great film though, phenomenal. I would say it's like a drama, probably just drama. I then watched Nasty Baby, which is such a strange film. This has Kristen Wiig, and this was on Shudder, which I was very, sorry, I say Shutter. Me saying Shudder and Shudder sound the same. It's just my accent. This was on Shudder, and I was very surprised because it is not really a thriller or anything. It's like a drama with a weird twist, which kind of would go well in my thrillers with a twist video I put out recently, or horrors and thrillers with a twist. But it is a very strange thing. I don't know how to explain this movie. It is about a couple who want a baby, and they're a gay couple, so they enlist the help of their friend, who is Kristen Wiig. But it's not really even about that. It's about all these different weird things happening in their neighborhood, and it ends with a weird bang that's bloody and messy and strange. But I would say it's very entertaining, but it just was all over the place. I finally watched Colossal, and this is a film I don't know why I put it off for so long. I did hear it was pretty emotional, and I would wholeheartedly agree with that. It's Anne Hathaway, and I would say this is definitely like a horror genre bending film because it's kind of like a drama comedy, but then it gets really serious. It's about her, and she has a drinking problem, and she moves back to her hometown, and there she discovers that she has a strange connection to a monster that is taking over Seoul. It is really not what you think. It's very imaginative, fantasy, sci-fi, but I think it's wholeheartedly entertaining and has a good message to it. Please check it out if you put it off like me. I do think it's worth it, 100%. Next, I watched Troll Hunter, and I watched this with my patrons. If you ever want the information on my Patreon, it's down in the description bar, and you can click on and go to Patreon and like see all the tiers and everything. All the information's there. But Troll Hunter was something that one of my patrons picked, Jackie. It is a Norwegian film. I've seen it before. One of my first reviews ever was on this film. It's a Norwegian film about a bunch of filmmakers, the like student filmmakers, and they they get mixed up with a troll hunter, and it is wacky and weird. It's a found footage and it's about trolls, and it's actually really good, not what you expect. And yeah, I think it blows people away the first time they see it. Definitely recommend. I then watched Soul because we got Disney Plus, and yeah, I thought it was good. It's like a tearjerker. I'm sure I don't have to explain it. It's one of the biggest animated films of 2021. It was a little bit intense for me. I have to say, I was not expecting that. Again, I cried. I watched Greenland. For some reason, we were watching end of the world, you know, apocalyptic films. As you can see, after this is Contagion, which I don't know why I watched that. But Greenland is just like this, it's like the mid-level. As you can see, I gave it 2.5 stars. It is just mid-level content. It's exactly what you expect. No better, no worse. I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's about the general population and some of them getting text messages from the government saying that they're gonna take them to this mystery base, to protect them because the world is ending. That's pretty much it. And yeah, one family trying to survive. Contagion is so on the nose. Don't watch this if you're, you know, upset about the thing going on in the world in the moment. It is so close, and this was made in 2011. How crazy is that? Yeah, I'm just skip that one. I do really want to talk about Love. This was an amazing film, and I'm blown away. This actually has a really low score on IMDb, or lower than what I thought. I really like his work. I've come to find out that I am kind of a fangirl of his work. I think it pushes the boundaries. I just love the way it's put together. And this film was amazing. There is a lot of adult scenes in this movie, and apparently when it first came out, there was a lot of hype around that, but I don't remember that. This was 2015. I really don't know what I was doing, but I was not watching films like this. This is a beautiful movie about a couple that bring in a third person into their relationship, into, you know, one event of their, I'm trying to be vague, it's YouTube, and how everything spirals out of control for their relationship and for their lives from that encounter. It is such a touching movie about relationships. It's so raw, and I really love the perspective it has. It's like this beautiful, loving couple that you think are perfect, and then it kind of flips and you see all of the ugliness, and I was just hypnotized by this film, I have to say. It goes for over 2 hours, and I know a lot of people said it bored them to death, but yeah, I know there's a lot of scenes, you know what I mean, but I loved it, and I really do want to do a video on him. I have an idea about focusing on directors, and I wonder if you guys would be interested in me focusing on him for a video. Let me know. I know it's not horror based, but I mean, some of his work is definitely disturbing based, so I'll take it. Next, I watched My Days of Mercy. This was an interesting film, another very interesting film. It stars Elliot Page and Kate Mara, and it's about two people falling in love. One that believes the death penalty, and the other one whose father is on death row. Very intense subject matter, but it's more of a love story. It's pretty entertaining, I think. I don't think it was anything special, but it was entertaining, so that's why I gave it a 3. I watched Fear of Rain, and this was one of the films I was very excited about to watch at the start of the month, but it did not get there for me. There were so many plot holes in this film. It's like a thriller about a woman who is dealing, or young woman, I hate that term, who is dealing with schizophrenia, and I believe it's schizophrenia, and she, you know, can't tell what's real and what's not, and then she thinks she sees a crime take place. So I mean, it's like Disturbia almost. I mean, different, doesn't have a mental illness, but it's very similar in a way. Like, is it real? Is it not? But there was so many plot holes, and most of it was very predictable and obvious. And I was kind of let down. I watched Willy's Wonderland, and yes, I reviewed this one, so definitely check that out. I watched Framing Britney Spears. This is that 50-minute documentary, I believe it is, about Britney Spears. All I have to say is, ouch, that hurt my heart, my spirit, my soul. Free Britney. Then I watched The Visit. I watched this for Does This Offend You? This is my stream I do every single month with my friend Vicky from Nightmare Maven. If you haven't checked it out, the live stream is on my channel. It is a fun one. It gets quite ranty. We were doing The Visit and The Lodge. So if you want to hear our thoughts about all of that, definitely check it out. It's about an hour and a bit, and yeah, it's good content. It's ranty content if you like that. I watched 13 Zamity, I believe that's how I say it. I love this film. I talked about this one and a couple of the ones we're going to go into for my twisted, unique thrillers and horrors recommendation video. But 13 is just, it will blow you away. If you like disturbing films, don't read anything. Don't read what I've just put on the page. Don't read anything, just watch it. You will love it. It is amazing. It's jaw-dropping, exhilarating. Yeah, it's a good time. I watched Paper House. This is another one I mentioned in that video. I watched The Baby. I watched this on Tubi for free, but I believe it's on Shudder in America. I was going to include this in the unique aspect, but this was like next level. It's about a man who is treated like a baby because of a disability he has. But there's a lot of abuse in this film, and the line is very blurred, and it's really hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. It's very disturbing, to be honest, and not a film I liked. If anyone has seen this, let me know what you thought about it. There was just something so wrong about, obviously there's something wrong about abuse, but just in this regard, it felt disgusting. I watched The Ghoul, which is a film I'd actually seen before and I didn't realize until I watched it. I actually liked this a lot more the second time. I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't get it. It has a very abrupt ending, but I do think it's a really interesting film. It is about a man who is going to a psychologist. I can't say too much, to be honest, but it has Alice Lowe in it, and it's about his relationship with her and who he perceives himself to be and who he actually is. I can't say too much because there's so many twists and turns about what you think and what he thinks, but it's more of a drama, I would say, even though the name and especially the poster looks really spooky. So if you're into a drama that's quite twisty and psychological, I would recommend that. Under the Tree is another film I recommended for my unique and twisted thrillers and horrors. I watched Delicatessen, did I say that right? For that video, but I didn't think it was, I hate saying this, but I didn't feel like it was very horror. If you haven't seen it before, it is a French film that is just bizarre about this man that goes to live above this butcher, or like help this guy who's a butcher, and then like what they're really doing with the meat. But it's not even about that. It's just about everyone in this apartment complex and their relationships with each other and this woman he falls in love with. It is a bizarre, twisted journey that is very unique, but I wasn't sure if it really fell into the horror. But I would recommend it for sure. I watched Lords of Illusions, and I was hoping I was really gonna like this one. What is the blurb? During a routine case in LA, New York private investigator Harry stumbles over members of a fanatic cult who are preparing for the resurrection of their leader, Nyx, a powerful magician who was killed 13 years earlier. This is by Clive Barker, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna love this film. Just wasn't for me, which I was kind of bummed by because the description sounds perfect, suiting to my taste, about a cult, Clive Barker, illusionist. I love magicians, and yeah, I was really bummed by that one. I then watched The Piper and Tideland. These were for the twisted, unique horrors and thrillers video. Again, sorry, I watched a lot of films for that, and you can see how many films I Like, I even watched Lords of Illusion and all that kind of stuff for that video, and they didn't make the cut. So you can see I watch a lot more than I even put in those videos. I'm trying to pick the ones I would fully recommend to you guys. I watched The Lodge, and again, this was for the Does This Offend You? I liked this more the second time I watched it. I thought it was phenomenal, and all the attention to detail, because you understand what's going on, but yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it the second time. I think it's a genius film, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I feel like so many horror movies are so polarizing that if you like it, you love it, you know? I watched Shook, and this is Shudder original, I believe. Shudder original. Yes, it is. This, oh my gosh, I really didn't like this film. This film was really bothering me. First 5 seconds, I was not having it, and I was hopeful, but it was like 6 different films in one. Yeah, I was not having it. It was, it's about, what is it about? It's about a woman who's an influencer, and then she decides to look after her sister's dog. It's so odd with the character's background, why they chose to include a lot of things. It doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, looks like a lot of people agreed with me. I just was not a fan. It was very confusing, but also predictable at the same time, if that's possible. I then watched Hunted, which is a film that I was actually super impressed by. This is another film that's on Shudder. I can't believe that I slept on this one. I think I need to stop sleeping on films about wolves, because obviously I've been loving them lately, and this is a take, or it's a very loose take on Red Riding Hood, but it's a survival horror about a woman who is, you know, preyed on by men. And I thought, yeah, this is gonna be, you know, run-of-the-mill. The poster looks pretty hilarious, but and it is a weird ass ride, but I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was really captivating and strange and twisted. A lot of it doesn't make sense, so I can understand some people probably give it low scores, yeah, but I was just like, I don't know, something about it was just so weird that I liked it, and I don't think it's intentionally weird, so I might just have a soft spot for it. But also, I do think one of the reasons is it really focuses on the villain's perspective, and I thought that that was really interesting. The villain in this film is so scary because he's so realistic, and the gore in this film is really well done, so I liked it for that. Worst film I probably ever watched. The next one is Birdemic. I watched this for a Patreon hangout. It was not my choice. If you haven't seen this film, don't bother, but maybe look up a clip on YouTube, because it's probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. But I think watching it, because we watched it as a group, was so good because there was the anticipation where we were trying to figure out what the heck was happening with the storyline, because it's just so badly shot. And to have that anticipation up into the awful effects where it's pretty much like a screensaver of a bird flying in the sky, I think it added to the effect. It's a fun joke movie, but it's not, yeah, I would not sit through it again. And then I finally watched I Care a Lot. This is a film that a lot of people have been raving about, which, yeah, it's kind of like a comedy, thriller, drama. I think comedy drama, only comedic because it has such an interesting aspect when it comes to like twisting the narrative. I mean, I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was quite alarming. I used to work in a non-for-profit with seniors, and what this woman did like just kills me. I know it would kill anyone who has empathy, but it was really hard to watch. So it's about a woman who pretty much scams people out of their homes and their livelihood, to try and make a buck. I would not even say a quick buck. It's the long game. It's explained how she does this, but one day she kind of preys on the wrong person. Ouch. I thought it was a fun ride, a little bit unbelievable, but I think you let that go because it's, I don't know, kind of set up in the way where it is that kind of black comedy that, I don't know, it's just meant to be like tongue-in-cheek, which is so weird to say because it is like a really scary and awful thing that happens, but I do think it was meant to be that way because they, you know, set up certain shots like, you know, the bad guy with the juice and how he throws the juice, and just weird things like that that wouldn't be done in serious films. I do think it goes off the rails and probably not in the best way, but I think it was easier to digest because of it, because it's such a sad story. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. There's a reason a lot of people have been watching it. I think it's quite original and a very interesting ride. So that's everything I've been watching in terms of movies, but let's talk TV shows. I watched the Nixium doco, Seduced. I started watching the other one and then everyone said, you shouldn't be watching this one, you should watch Seduced. And I watched that. It's a 4-part documentary series, I believe, about the cult that I can't even say the words here on YouTube, but did horrendous things to people. Yeah, the whole story about it, and because it was so, you know, huge in the media, it was really interesting to hear from that point of view. Also, you know, so much about abuse and the way that they trapped these women is just terrifying. And I would highly recommend it if you're into cults. Yeah, highly recommend watching Seduced. It was very eye-opening and interesting from a psychological standpoint as well. I watched season 1 of The Leftovers. Thank you, Sean, who made me watch this. I've been hearing about it for years. I think even since I did the cult video last year, a lot of people recommended it to me. And the first season is really hard to get into, but the main reason I watched it was because Ann Dowd was in it. And yeah, my friend Sean, Nocturnal Horrors, and I were having a chat about her and how great she is, and he mentioned she was in this. So season 1, I don't know, like there's 3 seasons, I believe, but it, you know, you've only just dipped your toes in. It is about the world, almost like this rapture thing happens. This is not a spoiler because this is what you think when you watch it, you know, where everyone just disappears at a glimpse, or like, I don't know how many people, like I'd say like 20% of the population, I'm sure they say in the TV show, and then everyone who's left, the leftovers, are there to like deal with everything. There's a lot of characters and it's very confusing at the start, but then you understand how everyone connects, and yeah, I would recommend it. I would say it's quite slow. It took me a while to get into it, but if you're into religious themes in drama TV shows, check it out. It's rated pretty high on IMDb, and I can't wait to watch season 2. Something else I watched a whole season of, or the only season of, is The Morning Show. As a lot of you know, I used to work in TV. I used to work in a major TV station, and I can tell you a lot of this stuff is like so close to the truth. It's scary. So I was putting it off for a while. This one stars Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, and Reese Witherspoon. It is a ride, very hard and awkward to watch, and your perspective keeps kind of like switching back and forth, which I do like. I like when you're kind of tested in that way. It's an Apple exclusive, I think. Pretty easy to bang it all out. I think I watched it in 2 days. Highly recommend if you are interested in that. It does, again, have abuse, and it goes really in depth into that, but it's also the drama just between these co-anchors, and yeah, how Reese Witherspoon's character, who is very separated from this world, comes in and shakes things up, which is quite, like, when you think about it, it's very similar to Legally Blonde in a way. I mean, it's completely different, but you know, she comes into this world and she shakes it up. So if you're a Legally Blonde fan, I mean just a Reese Witherspoon fan in general, definitely check it out. Anyway, that's everything I watched this month. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy videos like this, give it a thumbs up. And I think by the time you've been watching this, I might have hit 77K, which is, so sorry about my voice just then, which is so exciting. When I hit 80K, I will be doing a live stream. So very excited, a solo live stream. So get ready for that. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Please remember to write down in the comments everything you watched this month. I can't wait to read it, and I'll see you very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye.